Good morning, guys. Over the past week here, we've been starting our module 4, which is our employability module. Sorry about that. Um, and what we've been doing in class over the past couple days is we've been reviewing and looking over some of the documents that we see in the section, the 1111 section. Okay, the November 11th section. And the issue or the concept of what we're trying to get through is the different documentation and the different methodology that we want to use to create our own resume and our own cover letter. Okay, so that's the goal. Your resume and cover letter that you're going to create is not something that you're going to do and then turn into me, receive the grade, and then be done with it. Okay, the concept of your resume and cover letter is for you to build a foundation. And then over your time here at Bath High School, you are going to continue to build upon your resume. So when you actually need to submit it to someone for real, such as for a job or for a scholarship that you're trying to obtain or to get into college, you guys will have that ready. It's not something that we're trying to whip up here and put something together. We will have it and it'll be prepared and we'll be able to utilize it. So that's the concept of what we're doing. So with that being said, this is something that we're going to make, and then it's something we're going to save. We're going to hang on to that, not just this year, but basically forever is what we're going to use it for. So what have we been doing? What have we been doing in class? Well, in class, what we've been doing is what I kind of asked you to do a couple days ago, which was to review the documents that you guys have found in the module. Okay, there was like 5 or 6 different documents that you have in there. And what I want to do is just spend a little bit of time right now going over a couple of those, okay? And then giving you direction on where we want to go through the weekend and even into next week. So let's go ahead and take a look at our screen here. Maybe, here we go. All right. We've been working in the Module 4 employability section. And as we scroll down, we're here in this 11-11-20 resume and cover letter. Okay, we've been spending the last couple days going through this. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that open. And you see the different documents that we have in there. I'm gonna go through here, and what you need to do is just kind of listen. You've reviewed these at this point. You're gonna get an idea of what I'm looking for when we actually create these, and I'm gonna show you what I want you to do next after we've gone through this. So the very first document that we looked at was the sample resume. Okay, what is a resume supposed to look like? Well, resume can look like a lot of different things, but it should have essentially the same structure. Okay, at the very top, you're going to have your name, your street address, your city, state, and zip code. Does it have to be in this specific format? No, but it should be at the top, and your name should be highlighted bigger, and you can tell this is bolded as well. Email address. When you place your email address on, we are not going to use your Bath Wildcats email address. Okay, reason being, your Bath Wildcats email address is good for the next couple of years until you graduate. And then after you graduate Bath, your Bath Wildcats email address disappears. That's gone. So we want to have something that's going to be with you for a lengthy amount of time. Well, really forever. Okay, so we're talking Gmail accounts. We're talking Hotmail or Yahoo, things like that. Email addresses need to have appropriate and professional, I guess, language in them, okay? We're looking for something like your name followed by a number, or a first initial on your last name followed by maybe your birth year, something like that. So like, for example, mine might say J. Gomez, 1981, J. Gomez, 26. Joe Gomez 52 at gmail.com, something along that line. That's what we're looking for. Okay, what we don't want to look for are weird and strange type of email addresses. Cobra Kai basketballstud22@gmail.com, basketballstud at 29 or 20 basketballstud29@yahoo.com. That's not what we're looking for. Okay, that's an unprofessional, and in a way, it almost becomes a joke with the people that you're hiring. Like, really, this is the email address. So we want to make sure you've got something. If you don't, you're going to need to create that email address. Telephone number. Okay, obviously many of us have a cell phone at this point. If we don't, we're going to put the best place that we can be contacted at. And if we have our own cell phone, you need to look at the voicemail or listen to your voicemail. Okay, what do you got sitting in there right now? Does your voicemail even work? That's an issue. If you're waiting for a phone call for a scholarship and somebody tries to call you and you don't answer and they can't leave you a message, you might not get a second call. They might not call back. They might just go to the next person. Same with the job. Same with a college that wants to talk to you about things. Okay. So with that being said, make sure your voicemail's set up. Secondly, let's make sure our voicemail is professional as well. Hi, this is Joe Gomez. I'm unavailable to take your call. Please leave me a message and I'll call you back as soon as possible. Okay. Perfect example right there. Other people, some people try to do funny things with their voicemail. Maybe they just have music playing. Maybe they try and trick people. Hey, and then a pause. How you doing, man? Pause. Oh, just kidding. Leave a message. Okay, things like that we don't want to have. Okay, so you need to take a look at your voicemail, make sure it's set up, and make sure it's professional. Okay, as we move down through here, we're looking here at the objective. Okay, what is the objective? The objective is the reason that you're sending your resume in. Okay, you want to put in here, like I am submitting this resume for the position of a mechanic at your body shop. Okay, maybe that's a prime example. I'm submitting this application for a third grade teaching job that you have posted on your website. What is the purpose? Okay, otherwise the manager is going to get this resume and they're not really going to know what your intention is. Okay, you gave us a resume. Yeah, obviously you want a job, but what kind of job are you looking for? So you got to have some kind of purpose, some kind of statement. Then we start working our way down. Our experience. Sometimes experience doesn't always have to be jobs. Okay, maybe you've got other experience working on different things or different projects related to the job. Okay, if you're interested in being a mechanic, you might not have ever held a mechanic job, but have you ever had the chance to help someone replace the brakes on a car? Or have you ever helped somebody change oil in a car? Something like that. Have you ever done any work like that? Well, if you have, then you need to list that as your experience. Okay, again, that's just one example. And then going on a different direction with that, if you don't have anything to list, for example, I'm interested in being a nurse and I list experience, but I have nothing that deals with nursing or working in medical. Well, you need to start thinking about how you can get that done very, very soon. And it might not be a job. You might have to simply call Memorial Hospital or St. Rita's Hospital and say, hey, listen, I'm a 16-year-old high school kid at Bath, and I'd like to volunteer. You got any opportunities for me just to come in one day a week or a couple days a week or a couple days a month or whatever it is, to just do something and get your foot in the door so you can put something here and experience, okay? So that needs to be thought about right now at this point in time of your high school career. As we move down, we get into education. You can see this person put their high school in here, Marion Local, Maria Stein High School. Okay, you would put obviously Bath High School in Lima, Ohio. Your wording here would say expected high school diploma, 2023 or 2022, whatever you are. So some of you guys are juniors online here. But you put the year that you expect to graduate. This specific person has already said, I've graduated high school in 2018. You have not graduated high school yet. So you're going to put expected. Also, the schools that you list, the last one you'll ever list is your high school. You don't go in and say, I went to middle school and I went to elementary school. I mean, that's obvious if you graduated from high school. Okay, so high school is the what you list for a public school or your school system that you graduated from. Anything additional to the high school, like a college or a trade school or whatever else you might have attended, should always go on top. That should be first. So everything's listed chronologically by the latest thing that you've done. Okay, so if I've gone to college and I just graduated from college, then that would go at top, and then high school would go under it. It wouldn't go the opposite, if that makes sense. Okay. Same would go with experience. You would want to put your most recent experience first, and then list everything that is subsequent to that, okay, in order by date, or at least by year, starting with the most recent, going to the oldest, okay? Same with education. Start with the most recent, go to the oldest. And then you see here, we have some extracurricular and volunteer experience that we've listed here. Extracurricular, things like band, choir, any sport that you may have played, any club that you might be in, Interact, Student Council, National Honor Society, those kind of things. And then any volunteer experience. Now, we did talk about volunteering for experience up here, okay? This experience needs to be anything and everything you have that's relative to the job that you're applying for and your objective. Any other volunteer experience, like raking leaves for the Interact Club, or doing barrel drives, or collecting Christmas basket stuff for the Student Council, whatever that might be, that's not really relative to the job that you're applying for. So that would fall into this volunteer experience. And then finally, you will have a separate sheet for references, okay? So we write references and then they're available upon request. And then we have the second sheet that we have, and the references are listed. So what you'll need to have are you'll need to have three references that are not your family members, that are considered professional references. Somebody that maybe you've worked directly with or have overseen you in any way. These can be teachers, these can be coaches, they can be advisors, bosses if you've had them, okay? But what they shouldn't be is grandma or grandpa or mom and dad, or they shouldn't be a brother or a sister, or realistically, they shouldn't be a really, really good friend. Maybe the references are somebody that you know as maybe a friend, but they're somebody you've actually worked directly with, okay? Not somebody that you just hang out with on the weekends, okay? That's not what we're looking for. Okay, so that is the resume. That's kind of what we went over in class. We spent a couple days on that, and I kind of gave you a quick run through there. I have here an example of what a bad resume would look like, okay? Just to touch on a couple things here, guys. You'll notice that this guy that did this resume put a cover letter, which we've had a chance to work with cover letters. We did that in our team hiring activity. Got going on here, or that. Cover letter does not go on the resume. Cover letter is its own separate document, okay? So really, you're gonna have three documents when you turn this thing into me. You're gonna have a cover letter, you're going to have a resume, and then you're gonna have a references list, okay? Those three documents are 1 page each, okay? They shouldn't spill into several pages, okay? So you can see here, that's our first issue. As you go through here, I'm sure that you notice that this guy had plenty of problems with spelling. Okay, I'm looking at this word right here, positive, not even close. I have basic machine shop and machine mechanic experience. I'm also skilled in computer software and hardware. Spelled the hardware wrong, and the grammar flow on that's not even good. If you have any questions, I can be reached via cell phone. He puts the @ symbol. He should spell the word @ We should never abbreviate like this, okay? And then he lists the cell phone number right there, okay? No signature on the cover letter, no nothing, just a basic letter. And it's right here attached to the resume, which looks actually kind of sloppy, okay? You can see in here we've got spacing. We've got a major issue here with spacing. I don't really see, well, I do see an objective. It's right here, but I am seeking a full-time position at this company with no period at the end and not really any spacing here. You probably should be specific, like what kind of full-time job are you looking for? Okay, are you looking for a full-time job as an office clerk? Are you looking for a full-time job as a factory worker? What exactly is it that you're looking for? Okay, and that doesn't do me any justice. I'm looking here on this side, we've got left align. I come over here, I got center align. And then when I scroll down a little further, I got right align. Okay, so I'm aligning my document all over the place. Everything on a resume should be left to right. Okay, we shouldn't be center aligning and right aligning all of this stuff. Okay, we should be left aligning and working our way over to the right. Okay, education. Let's look at this. Earlier, I said everything should go chronological order from the most recent to the oldest. Well, if you look at what this guy did, he put the oldest to the newest, and that's not going to cut it. Okay, we should have our newest stuff, 2002 to 2003, up top, and then the oldest, 99 to 2003, down at the bottom. Okay, this was the most recent place that he attended. As I go down, let's see here. Again, we talked about the right aligning here. Looks like that this person did an okay job putting things in chronological order. Okay, newest to oldest, but like right here, this is terrible. Okay, we've got hand work with no space, February, we're not even spelling February right. And it just looks sloppy, and it looks just rushed and completely, really, guys, it looks uneducated, okay? And if this is a position where in any way, shape, or form, you need to use your mind, boy, this is a big red flag for me if I'm going to hire this person. And I'm going to tell you right now that most positions in some way, shape, or form, you need to use your mind somehow. So this guy's not really helping himself out at all. Some things that maybe you could do to make sure that you don't make some mistakes like this is proofread, obviously, for that before. Maybe have someone else look at your resume, things along that line. But this isn't going to cut it. If you were to turn something like this in to a job, it would go probably right into the trash can. And if you turn something like this to me for your resume project, you probably get a 0. I mean, it's not going to cut it. Okay, so that's an example of a bad resume. I want you guys to take a look at this cover letter template. Don't really need to go through this too in depth right now. You will create a cover letter. What I like about this template is that it tells you exactly what needs to go in each specific spot. Okay, your information, the date, the person that you're applying for here. They spelled organization wrong. Look at that. Okay, no Z, or no, that's not an S. It should be a Z. We have the dear, Mr., Mrs., or doctor. Okay, doctor doesn't necessarily always mean a medical doctor. If that person is a doctor of their subject, like they have a PhD, you would refer to them as doctor, not Mr. or Miss. Again, and we have here, opening paragraph, what goes in here? Second paragraph, what should we be putting? Third paragraph, and then finally, sincerely, we put 4 spaces here typically, and then you've got to handwrite your signature. And one thing that I've found is that we aren't very good at handwriting in cursive. That's one thing I've found here in this group that I have in class. So that's kind of scary, guys. That's something that, as crazy as it might sound, we might need to actually start practicing that a little bit. But regardless, you do need to sign your name. It should be your full name, your full legal name, okay? Middle name should just be put with an initial, but like for example, Joe should be listed as Joseph, Chris should be listed as Christopher, or Abby should be Abigail, things like that, okay? We shouldn't put our name, which is short, it should be our full legal name, okay? All right, so that's going to lead us into what we want to do today, okay? We're going to look at the resume worksheet. And what you'll do, this is going to be due more than likely on Monday, okay? So you'll have Monday to work on this. You have today, and then you'll have Monday. Won't collect it till probably Monday at the end of the day, late at the end of the day. But you'll go through here, you'll download this in Word, and you will use this to help fill in any type of information that's going to go on our resume, okay? The work experience, again, you've got to think about this. What is some work experience I have that is relative to the job that I'm applying for? And it might not be, again, it might not be work experience that you are actually getting paid for. This might be work experience that you've just done as a hobby. Again, I mentioned, if I want to be a mechanic, maybe I helped somebody rotate tires or change brakes along the way. Or if I want to be a nurse, maybe I had a chance to do maybe some type of medical experiments or science experiments that are relative to maybe nursing or anatomy of some kind. Okay, so we've got to think outside the box at this point. And here's the real true deal, guys. If you have zero to put in this, you now have to start figuring out how can I get something to get in that spot. Okay, and if I don't, I run the risk of the other person that's applying for these jobs to get the job rather than me. Does that make sense? So we're trying to put ourselves in the best position. Okay, do you have to do that for this class? Do you have to go out and start volunteering and getting your experience? No, you don't need to do that for this class, but you need to have a plan. Okay, and you need to follow through with that plan. Otherwise, again, otherwise you're putting yourself at risk. Okay, so you're going to work on this worksheet. This is going to be due Monday, probably midnight, 11:59 at night, Monday. You'll submit this, and then we'll start thinking about creating our own resume and worksheet. Okay, I'll probably hop back on later, early next week. We'll go over a couple more of these documents and start talking about our own resumes. Okay, guys, hope you have a great weekend, and let me know if you need anything.